Welcome back, everybody. We're about to hop into our first adventure of the night, one which I have entitled The Missing Link. But before we do so, as always, we're just going to run through and take a moment to introduce our characters. So without further ado, first up, we have returning a fabled tier adventurer. We have Oldman, McWizardface.
Hello, Pete.
How are you today, Oldman?
Oh, I'm fine. A little tired helping clean up Mira's house, but familiar has been a wonderful help.
The familiar you said. What is your familiar? What's new?
Oh, not my familiar. Familiar from the Giant City.
Of course. How could I forget familiar? Have you been doing much now that, of course, that you are the Monstrologist McResearcherface? That is correct, yes?
Correct.
Okay. Now that you are this Monstrologist yes, it is. McResearcherface, have you been getting access to like new monsters? Are people seeking you out for you to like check out all of their kind of rare monsters?
Oh, I wish. Right now I'm just trying to deal with the monster of Mira. Trying to clean out her, oh my god. We talked about this. It's ridiculous. And we have arguments about certain things. Like the gecko. Oh my god, the gecko. I wanted to name him
Trouble in Paradise.
I wanted to name him Gecko McGeckoface, but she wanted to name him Striker. What kind of name is Striker?
I mean, how would you know that Gecko?
Name, that's what.
How would you know that Gecko McGeckoface was even a gecko if it didn't say gecko somewhere in the name? I mean, I'm with you, Oldman.
He's a giant gecko.
Yes. Well, Oldman, I hope everything is straightened out between you and Mira in the future.
It is. We settled on Striker McLizardface.
That seems compromised. That's very important in a relationship. Welcome, Oldman.
Thank you.
Next up, we have returning the Prince of Order, the one, the only, Michael Verity. Welcome back, Michael. How are you?
It's been wonderful. I just want to say, Oldman, you have quite the job title and a half. But yeah.
I mean, Oldman certainly does. But Michael, tell me what is new with you. What's going on in the life of the Prince of Order? Have you been maintaining much order lately?
Of course I have. I've been maintaining order back at the kingdom, and I did a special activity with all the school children.
Oh, really? What special activity was it?
I teach the school children about adventuring and what it means to be a soldier.
Oh, geez.
I will. It's not. No, trust me. It wasn't graphic at all. But I will say this: not everyone was interested. But hey, it was fun.
I mean, I suppose that's what counts. Delivering an education to the children of, was it Miradane was the name of your home kingdom? Did I say that?
Miradar, but that works. Yeah.
Miradar, that's what it was.
Yeah, Miradar, yeah.
I mean, the children, if nothing else, they have to at least be, in awe that their prince is kind of,
all the children are fans of me. They know me. I've been recounting my adventures every time I return, and whenever I come back, all the people just flock to me like, "Tell me more! Tell me more!"
I have no doubt that you will have another tale to tell after today, Michael. Welcome back. In that case, next up we have returning. I believe needs no name. Save her title. We have the Protector. How is the Protector today?
I've been watching my brother play this strange video game with his wizarding powers.
Yes, a video game. I don't know if I'm familiar with video games. But what is this thing?
It's some kind of wizardy box that you command to do things, and the pictures move and display different things.
Is it fun?
Apparently, my brother Adrian has been playing it nonstop for the past week. This thing called XCOM 2 War of the Chosen or something like that. I don't exactly know, but he's gotten like 12 hours of sleep in the last 4 days.
I mean, if that's what he enjoys, I don't know about these strange things. And I guess I do have a question. I don't know why this is popping into my mind, but did he ever clear the first level of They Are Billions? No response.
We don't talk about that.
All right, fair enough. And I guess we're here to talk more about you, though, the Protector. So,
Yes.
Protector, what's new with you? Tell me what's going on in your life.
Still haven't quite figured out how to do the paladin healing hands thing.
Yes, that can be difficult.
I'm sure that it will come to me eventually. You know,
I mean,
being able
naturally,
to
as
heal
a paladin,
people with
yeah.
my hands. Yeah, as a paladin.
I'm sure just kind of any moment now you will find that you've uncovered this paladin secret. I mean, every paladin learns at different paces. And you've gotten so good at smiting.
Told me Victorious said that he was able to do it right away, and I'm starting to think that I got the short end of the stick with my divine entity being. Anyways, yeah,
I wouldn't worry too much. I have no doubt it will come with time, Protector. And as I said, you are very exceptional at protecting, to say the least. So, welcome tonight, Protector.
Thank you.
And last but not least, we have another Protector of sorts. We have Sword Coheir, the Protector Aasimar. Sword, how are you?
I'm not even sure where that title came from. I don't have a title.
Oh well, I was not speaking your title, merely your heritage. You are, of course, a Protector Aasimar. I know that you are one who does not believe or take titles. But I believe last we spoke. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I feel like we have this conversation every time we have the Protector in the group.
Have we had this conversation before?
I think so.
I don't know if we have. Maybe we will. It's because your names are alphabetically next to each other. Well, either way, welcome to Night Sword. I believe also the last time you were here, you were telling me about your family reunion. You just come off of it, and you were a bit under the weather. Are you feeling better?
Oh yes, I'm feeling much better today. Lately, I've been in my stores of medicines and apothecaries, doing inventory. Never fun.
Mm-hmm. I did not know that you. I did not know that you kept such kind of rich and large scale stores of medicinal herbs and such. I knew that you were a healer as a cleric, but I didn't know that also extended to the more kind of practical application of healing.
Yeah. There's some things that magic can't heal, so it's always good to be open-minded about that.
Very prudent. I like to see the well-rounded nature that you have, the well-rounded adventure that you've grown into, Sword. Well, regardless, we will need your help again this evening, and we welcome you. And what we'll need your help for is the dwarves of the Silvered Peak Historical Society. Bartholomew has connected you with them because they've recently uncovered a very interesting cave in the hills surrounding Sohcahtoa. It goes pretty deep, and they haven't explored too much of it, from what you understood. But they found some very interesting kind of cave scrawlings, and they think it merits further investigation. As we begin, you find yourselves kind of teleported to the city of Sohcahtoa, and then there was a several-hour journey that you all just kind of, hiking over the hills of the Sohcahtoan region, and eventually you can hear in the distance just kind of the singing and the kind of clanging of picks and hammers and just the overall cheery atmosphere around this kind of dwarven archaeological dig site that has been set up as they are in the process of excavating this cave. You were there to kind of contact their leader, a dwarf by the name of Penelope. But as you're kind of walking around the space, you can see various dwarves like going on about the past of one of them's kind of like breaking rocks and looking inside for different fossils. One of them's going about dusting off different kind of sections of the ground very carefully with a brush. All of them have like a big mug of ale, and there's several huge casks on a cart that have been kind of set up here. And as you start walking about the camp, the various dwarves have just, "Oh, good day to you, sir. Top of the afternoon to you. Ho, ho, ho. Great day for digging, isn't it?" And they're all just kind of gesturing to you and waving at you as you move through this camp. In the distance, you can see the kind of tent that they have set up, which you assume where this Penelope lies. However, this is where we begin. What would you all like to do?
Oh, I hope there are monsters in here.
The kind of statement only suited to an adventurer from Bartholomew's shop.
With excavations before, so this might be an interesting experience for me.
All right, yeah. So are you guys just going to kind of proceed to the tent, or do you have anything you want to do out here?
To the tent. We must find who has sent us.
Very well. You proceed forward, and as you enter into the tent, you can see there's a couple of dwarves, and they have kind of like a little map spread out on a table, and they're kind of like pointing to different locations on it. And you see one dwarven woman who's there. She kind of has very long, kind of blonde braids that kind of go down her shoulders into also a kind of a braided beard. And she's got like one of the safari hats on her head, and she looks up to you.
Oh, pause. She's got a beard?
Yeah.
They're
You say
dwarves.
she's got
Have you never
dwarf.
seen a dwarf before?
Have you ever seen a dwarf? And she looks up at you and she says to all of
women
you,
had beards.
The children have them too.
What
rock have you been living under?
Not uncommon at all. And the dwarf kind of looks up at you, takes off the Tory hat, and just, good afternoon, adventurers. You must be the ones I requested from Bartholomew's shop.
Indeed. Hello there.
Yes.
Assist you in any way possible, and to maintain order as per usual.
Well, that's exactly what I need. I actually, Oldman, I specifically requested you because, well, as a fellow researcher, I think that you'll be able to handle this particular job with tact. You see, we need you to go through the caverns up ahead. As per the usual, when we enter a cave system that's pretty dangerous, there's no telling where it might lead, be it the Underdark or, if you're going into a tomb, you never know if there's an undead lich or some abomination within. So we always like to just have a reconnaissance team of Bartholomew's adventurers go in and check it out ahead of us. We know there's something down there. We've heard some strange noises up ahead. But within that cave system, there are some interesting things that we found. And she kind of walks you out of the tent over towards the entrance to the cave. And there are a couple of big rocks, and she starts kind of pointing out different like scratchings and etchings on the rocks of this cave. What we believe we found here in the kingdom outside of Sohcahtoa is the very early signs of trigognome life here in this region. And she kind of points to some of the rocks, and you can see very crude. Looks like they're just using tallies for numbers, but there are simple like 1 and then a plus sign and then 2 tallies and then just a 3. And there's just a lot of very, very primitive math that it looks like was being scrawled out on these rocks.
Jenny is moving from rock to rock, taking cover and looking around.
All right. Go ahead and make a perception check. Yeah, there's definitely math on these rocks. As you're looking around, you don't see much other than the math on the rocks. But Penelope kind of continues and points along the walls and shows you, how it leads in and where to kind of enter in. So, as we said, your job's simple. Just simply go through, look through the cave if there's any monsters or anything scary down there. Remove it for us, and, well, you'll have your reward. Make sure you follow it all the way down to the end. Simple enough?
Sounds good. I'll even make sure to document what's in there for you for future expeditions.
That would be greatly appreciated. I knew that your mind would be likewise with mine. And if you can, please be careful of the environment. Try not to damage any of these very priceless and important cave scrawlings, if you could.
Oh, I know how important drawings can be.
Jenny is going to cast False Life on herself.
Very well. You watch as Jenny kind of, all of a sudden, what does it look like when Jenny's false life? I picture just like the muscles swell a little bit.
Nah, she just takes in a deep breath.
Okay.
Well, we're doing this.
Actually,
I guess I should
the material components require a small amount of alcohol, so maybe she just like takes a swig of like whiskey.
Indeed. As you're kind of, I mean, you've been offered alcohol by several dwarves that you've passed by so far. All of you have, if you're interested.
Every time she would have drank and then cast False Life.
All right. So you have a, basically their glasses are just casks that they've had handles put onto. So you're just handed like a cask. It's kind of heavy, but you're a paladin. You're strong.
Yeah, I'm a paladin. Hold on, let me just check my strength here.
That's very, very
Nope.
high, I assume.
Nope. I am rolling this cask on the floor.
All right. Yeah, this kind of a there's a dragging aspect to it, I'm sure. Yeah, you steel yourself for 5 hit points, and the cave's mouth beckons to you. How do you proceed? Is there anything else you want to ask Penelope about, or check out around the outside of it?
Do you know about any of the creatures inside there?
She speaks up. I cannot say that I do. We looked around and there were a few bats that were flying about, a couple of nasty swarms, but we cleared those out ourselves. They weren't anything too dangerous. We didn't want to go too deep, but like I said, we could hear some noises. In a couple of cases, it sounded almost like chanting or cackling of sorts. It was a little bit strange.
How about creatures in any nearby caves? I'm sure this isn't your first.
No, this is actually quite very much the first cave we found in the region. Like I said, this is a pretty major breakthrough in our research.
Wonderful. I love being part of such groundbreaking discoveries.
It's invigorating. She smiles at you.
Well, fear not. If anything is down there, I will swiftly deal with it, however I see fit.
Jenny equips her shield and then reaches up and pulls from the void that she rips into space the cut hammer.
Oh, nice. This part hammer with almost this glaive edge on the end of it appears in Jenny's hands from a hole in space-time. Anyone else have any preparations?
I think I'll prepare for a bless just in case.
Okay. I assume you're going to wait until you're just getting ready to do it when...
Just preparing components, not actually casting it.
Okay.
Well,
yeah,
I will say if any of the other spellcasters have the light spell, that would be helpful to cast it on me so I can shine the way.
It is pitch black.
I do have a spare torch as well as thaumaturgy, so
that works.
You already got light. You're good.
I'm taking one of these casks with me. Thank you very much.
All right, Oldman, you got one. It is very heavy. And the group of you begin kind of proceeding down into the cave. What are you casting the light spell on?
Probably my armor. Probably my armor, as usual.
Do you wear a helmet, Michael Verity?
No.
Do you have a shield?
Shield? I have a shield and chainmail. So that works.
Yeah, I'll cast it on your shield then. That way you can cover it easily.
My shield
in that
turns
case,
into a giant flashlight.
Michael, you now have essentially a flashlight, this shield beacon that you're kind of moving and kind of guiding you as you move through into this cave. As you start,
because he's starting to stink as well.
And Oldman will cast it on his walking stick as well.
all right. Oh yeah. So it is bright as you step through, and you begin to journey. There's a slight kind of downward pitch at first, but it starts to level out in the first couple hundred feet, and it's not long before, in the distance, you can hear some very muffled conversation, and the occasional ding, ding, which sounds like it actually sounds like pigs coming from deeper within this cave.
But intelligible, or is it just gibberish?
Nothing. It's just like low murmuring. It's far too distant and muffled to be able to make out any of the words that are being said.
Say we press forward anymore and not attract the attention just yet.
All right. And as you continue, you're walking through, and you're starting to see more and more kind of like relics on the ground. There's no like torches in this section of the cave. This is when you start putting the light on. At the very mouth of it, the dwarves seem to have kind of set up some basic, like lighting and stuff, just so that they can research and look at the things within. But you're at a point where it seems like they have not gone this far yet, and you're seeing like objects and relics on the ground. You see a doll. Actually, what are your passive perceptions?
11.
11.
It is 13.
12.
Hold on. 13.
13. All right, yeah. So, Michael and Sword, the two of you pick out a doll, and it looks vaguely. It's a little bit strange, actually, to look at as you pick it up on the ground. Or do you pick it up, or do you just kind of look at it? That's the Sword or Michael. Sword or do you guys want to investigate this, or do you just kind of like brush over it and ignore it?
I might want to investigate it. I don't know. I don't know what the others want to do.
I'll
Oldman
do an
is paying
investigation.
attention to the walls and the drawings and the roof after last time.
Yeah, you're all right, yeah, Sword. So you kind of look over this thing. It's it just seems to be like a child's toy. It's carved out of like what looks like bone. But the head is like, you can't tell what race it is. It looks like it maybe was gnome, just because you're in the hills and that's what the dwarves were saying. But if you weren't like told in advance that it might be a gnome, you wouldn't have quite been able to tell. It's got a lot more like feral features about it too.
Well, can I make a check on it to see if I can understand it better?
Yeah, sure, if you want.
Investigation, I would assume.
You can make investigation or nature. And why don't you make me a perception check, Oldman, as you're looking around the space. Yeah, you have not really any clue. Michael, it's just, some kind of humanoid figure. Yeah, you're looking around.
I say maybe if we take the doll back after our quest is done, maybe they'll tell us what it is.
Ooh, a doll. Can I see?
Oldman,
Sure.
You're kind of looking around the space up above. You checking the ceilings, and there's more of these carvings. Again, it's all math. It's all basic. There are a few sketches, more figures that actually seem to match the shape of this doll in appearance. They're all kind of and they're drawn next to a lot of other like smaller figures. You get the impression that either they had interactions with something that was small, or they were big. Like, the drawings are too primitive to get any real sense of scale. And you're finding more kind of stuff like this as you move through the cave. And as you're slowly kind of continuing forward, the sounds of like striking picks and conversation is getting louder. And as you're kind of continuing on, you also are finding more relics. You find like what looks like a very primitive abacus on the ground. And then you come to an obstruction in the path up ahead, where it appears that there's actually a constructed barrier preventing you from going further into the cave. It looks like it's made of like wood and just kind of like scrap wood that's been piled up. There's some aspects of like a metal panel actually that looks like that it was just all kind of haphazardly building a wall. And then there is a door at its center.
I will try to attempt to open the door.
You may want to try knocking first.
Why?
Right,
Who
so-
would possibly live here?
Michael, you step up and you go and open the door, and as you kind of pull on it, you can tell that it is sealed from the other side. It doesn't have like a lock on this side, it just seems like there's a bar on the other side. And as you kind of start jiggling it, you see kind of just a small, you hear kind of a creaking, and there's a small kind of slit opens at about your waist level in the door. And it speaks to you.
Hey?
What's the password?
Is it?
I'm gonna look at.
password?
I'm gonna look at
The
the.
password is, can I bum a light?
Well, no. What you're supposed to do is... all right, I'm sorry. I think I messed this one up. Let me try it again. Do an addition.
I throw a red elemental gem into the slit.
1 + 1 is 2.
Correct. You toss a red... as right as he says correct, you toss an elemental gem into the slit. Go ahead and make me... this is going to be a dex check. Or make me an attack roll to try and get it through, because it's not like a big space.
Ooh.
Yeah, you kind of like toss it at
It's
it.
not something that like I'm trying to toss it into. It's just that I'm summoning a fire elemental on the other
Okay,
side.
well, that's what I'm saying. It's a question of which side that it appears on.
It's not that I have to like throw the gem into a place. It's just as soon as
can
it
you read me
breaks, I can
how it
cast
works?
the spell.
It doesn't appear at the location where the gem is broken?
I don't. Let me double check. When you use an action to break the gem, an elemental is summoned as if you had cast the conjure elemental spell. So no, it does not appear where the gem is broken.
All right. As you watch as the protector just kind of like tosses this red, this like kind of red ruby sort of shaped gem at the hole, and it kind of cracks against it, and the goblin kind of goes on the other side, ouch, jeez! And then you hear him go, wait, hey, whoa! And on the other side, you just hear this roaring of flame, and that goblin's cries are nearly immediately silenced.
You
I'm
can
gonna
be
look
a
at.
real ass.
I look at.
Remember.
I look at Jetty. I look at Jetty with disgust, and I'm like, why the heck did you do that? He was gonna let us in.
I shrug and then I kind of like gesture at the door, and you just see a flaming fist blow through the door.
Yeah, it's not like this construction was not very solid, and as the fire elemental punches through it, it just catches and starts to spread out and to burn. Yeah, you got a fire elemental with you now. You're all, you all see this just creature of just pure elemental flame that is now looming up and is kind of looking over at, the protector, Jenny, expectantly waiting for commands, as you have defeated this goblin.
I turn to the fire elemental and say, "Follow me. You're mine for an hour."
All right. And the fire elemental just kind of it makes that sound and follows you.
Just keep in mind, they said they don't want us to. They wanted us to minimize damage to the artifacts.
I don't think she cares at all.
I'd rather not have any burnt. I'd rather not have any burnt, melted
Listen, you three.
piles of scrap.
It's not like rock is flammable, all right?
True, but
True, but the relics inside are.
Jink kind of like shrugs.
The fire elemental kind
Maybe
of looks
it'd
at
be
you.
better if you stay here.
The fire elemental kind of looks at you, Oldman, and just kind of goes.
What does he say? I speak primordial.
Oh, what does he say? He says, "I go with the protector."
let's bring the elemental with us. And next time if a goblin actually offers us something nicely, let's not kill it.
All right, and that moment comes upon you very soon as you take a few more steps in this cave and run around a corner, and you see a couple of goblins that are just kind of up ahead talking. They both have these. They both are like carrying what looks like cubes with handles on them, and they're just kind of like chatting amongst each other in Goblin.
Goblin. Well,
Yeah.
oh great, it's the math goblins. I already know what these are.
I command my fire elemental to stand in the same space that they are occupying.
All right, I'd like you to roll initiative then against these two goblins.
Are they gonna live long enough?
They might. Never know.
Sure. Can I?
Ow,
use
Oldman
this-
goes first. At least Oldman gets his turn to draw.
Can I use this B-shaped character sheet for the fire elemental?
Yes, I don't know.
Wait, did you not get the fire elemental? Hold on a second.
No, you didn't.
No, I got you already.
Alright, thanks.
You should have a fire
There we
elemental.
Yeah. Should I roll the hit points?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, it's on GM if you want to.
Yeah, I just switched it.
Okay, cool.
All right, so you have
101 health.
all right.
A little overpowered, but okay.
Pretty good.
These were 200 Bartholomew bucks to buy.
They were
No
very
one bought them
underpriced.
except for me.
Very underpriced for a very overpowered elemental.
So let us continue on. So the first one to act in this instance is Oldman. What do you wish to do? As these two
Hold
math
on.
goblins are just kind of
I haven't
chilling
rolled
there.
initiative for him yet. There we go.
what's it going to be, Oldman?
Oldman's going to draw them in their natural habitat. These being
All right.
very primitive creatures.
They're kind of just like chatting amongst each other, and as you kind of round the corner and you just kind of take out a pen and start sketching them, they just look at you confused for like a half a second before looking at the huge kind of flaming death monster before them, and they are going to, as it now passes to their turn.
No, hold on. Is it me or the goblins? Because we both have 15 on the initiative.
It is their turn because they have a higher dexterity modifier. Is how I rule that because they have a +3 to dex and you only have a +1. It is huge compared to the goblin, and the math goblins are going to just look at it and they're just going to run up and try and hit it. 18 and a 13.
Jesus, 25?
Both
That
of those
damage.
hit. When they do, they each take 1d10 fire damage.
Okay, roll that.
Physically touching them, though.
All right, yeah. As the math goblins kind of run up, they both see this thing and they just are both like, ah! And they take out their kind of weird cube-shaped swords and they both just run up and plunge the swords in, and then one of them just burns up, and the other math goblin looks over and just goes, "Larry!" And he is going to bonus action disengage and decide that he doesn't want to do this and start running down the hallway. Or running down further into the cave. As it passes now to your turn, Michael.
Goblin running away. I want to try to grab him.
All right, so you run after him. Yeah, he couldn't get too far because he used most of his move to get up to the fire elemental in the first place. So go ahead and make. You said you're trying to grab him.
I'm going to try to grab him.
All right, make me an athletics check. Oh man, he dodges out of the way. Very nimbly. Yeah, he rolled very high. You can go again. You have extra attack now, don't you?
I'm going to try to grapple him again.
All right, go for it.
Oh, dear.
He dodges.
Is this guy's... Jesus!
Is there anything else on your turn?
Stop! Wait! Don't run! I'm just gonna helplessly try to chase the...
All right, yeah.
I'm gonna alert everyone else.
Yeah, you're kind of right up next to him. He looks like he's definitely going to run. That's going to bring us to Sword. What do you want to do?
To the fire elemental.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. It is the fire elemental. What is the fire elemental going to do?
The fire elemental is going to walk up and give the goblin a pat on the back.
That's also going to hit Michael.
No,
with the AoE.
It's a touch attack, not the...
Oh, no,
it's not moving into his space.
Oh, I thought it was just being next to him.
Nope, moving into the space.
Okay, cool.
Or hitting with a melee attack, or entering its space.
Okay,
or
yeah.
being touched.
18 is going to hit and kill said math goblin as you kind of the viral whooshes across it. The goblin incinerates when that's his death cry.
Help me catch it! Don't let this last one escape! Help me catch it!
Oh, he's already dead.
Yeah, there were only
just
two.
died.
I was running away.
Yeah, the first one died when it hit the. The first one died when it hit the fire elemental, and the fire elemental just ran down and killed the other one. In which case, those two math goblins were dealt with succinctly.
Do these goblins look any different than normal math goblins?
No, these look like very normal math goblins.
Well then,
They don't look any different to me. They look just like the math goblins I fought at that one temple excavation.
Actually, they look a little bit crispier than normal math goblins.
This is definitely
Dip, because you burnt them with the fire elemental.
Jenny shrugs again.
All right, so you continue on forward. Actually, it looks like. Hold on a second. The stream appears to be frozen. Please hold 1 second. I just want to ask Jeremy. Stream froze. I don't know if we're still getting dialogue. Okay, no, it looks like we're still getting audio. It's just the video's frozen. That's okay. So what's up, Switch?
The square short sword is force damage?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The square sword basically does 1d6 times 2 or something, or 4.
Squared. A d6 squared.
1d6 squared.
Working on it, Pete.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we could still be heard audio-wise. So you continue on through this cave, and eventually you kind of move into a bit more of an open space where you can see quite a few of these math goblins kind of working around and just and just kind of, going about their business. They look like they're also in the process of excavating something, like the dwarves you saw outside. And there's one kind of robed math goblin who's at the kind of heart of it, and you can see the thing that they're excavating on the far wall. There's what looks like a huge chunk of amber with an absolutely massive... and now that you're looking at the actual version of it, this is definitely what was being painted on those cave walls. And it seems somewhere in between in appearance a trigonome and a math goblin, and it is huge. But it seems to be encased in amber, which like all of these like math goblins are picking away at with stone.
Wait. So there's actual trigonome and an actual math goblin in the amber.
No, it looks like some weird amalgamation of the two, and it looks very. It looks like the things you saw painted on the cave walls, and it looks almost Neanderthal. Its head is very kind of like primitive in its appearance.
Jenny,
this looks like.
Can you give me a second to draw this first? And then you could go do whatever you want.
I mean, you could draw it after. I'm not going to touch it with the fire elemental.
Huh, it kind of looks like that doll.
How far out is it?
It kind of does. It's a little weird. Is it me, or do these trigonomes and math goblins have a common ancestor?
A very large one, apparently.
Like they have an ancestor. This makes things a little weird.
And as you're kind of moving into the space, someone asked how big it was. Where they're kind of mostly working, they're in like a bit of a cavern now, and the space that you walked into that cavern from is about 60 feet from where the big amber statue is that they're all working on.
Well, I suppose I'm going to start drawing it.
All right, Oldman takes out the old sketch pad and starts sketching furiously, knowing that his time may be limited. What about everyone else?
I'm going to walk. Wait, where's the robed math goblin? Is he right near the amber? I assume.
Yeah, he's right near the amber.
I'm going to make an assumption in my head that he is the leader of this group of math goblins, and I'm going to try to approach him and force. I'm going to try to approach him and force him to surrender when I get close enough.
Okay. Are you trying to like sneak up on him and then force him to surrender?
I have disadvantage on sneak, but
yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check with disadvantage.
It's because I'm wearing chainmail, but okay.
Can I say something?
Yeah, I just ripped. I just really tripped and made a loud noise.
Can I?
That is falling down the stairs.
That one. He thought he was sneaking, but right behind him was my giant fuck off fire elemental.
Fair enough. Yeah, so you're being real stealthy. You're being real stealthy, Michael, and you're just kind of like creeping along the ground. And yeah, your armor's like clinking here and there, but they haven't seemed to notice. And then they look over in your direction and they just go, "Intruder!" and they're pointing right at you. And then you look behind and you realize it's the glow of the massive fire elemental that they're pointing at. And
I'm gonna my face pump furiously.
And that leader just kind of like points at all of you and orders his math goblins to swarm. I would like you all to roll for initiative.
Which is the leader, but okay.
All right. Oh man, both of them rolled very well. So the math goblins are going to act first in this particular instance. There are a total of 6 of these math goblins that are all kind of like swarming out, as well as their leader, the geomancer. And you watch as the math goblins all kind of run out towards the fire elemental and towards Michael. And one of the math goblins is going to go after the fire elemental. 10 misses. Does it die on a miss?
No.
Okay. Another one's going to
hit it or touch it.
Another one's going to go after the... so it's going to hit for 4 force damage. Can you roll damage on the slapback from that?
Yeah. Should I set up a macro for the d10s that I'm gonna have to roll? The thousands of d10s.
I mean,
roll a d10. It's easy to roll a d10.
Slash roll d10, yeah.
Or just use the dice tool on the upper left that I use.
Alright, I set up a macro.
Alright, 5 points of fire damage. The math goblin burns, and the other math goblins, kind of seeing their friend get burned up as it strikes, as it strikes the creature, are gonna decide not to attack the fire elemental, and the other four are just gonna kind of run around, or 3 of the other 4 are gonna run around and start running towards the back where everyone else is, and one of them is gonna go after you, Michael. I assume a 6 misses.
A 6 is definitely gonna miss.
Okay, and then as all these math goblins are kind of around, like swarming with their square short swords, the geomancer looks towards all of them, or looks towards all of you, and you see him raise up his kind of square staff that he's holding, and swings it backwards, and just no, the math goblin's might, and he slams it into that amber, which sort of cracks and begins to kind of shatter. And as the ember falls away, you see at the back there's just kind of all of a sudden this primal roar as this huge trigonome math goblin emerges, and you watch as its eyes, with another kind of bolt of magic from the staff, start to grow a brilliant red, as now this creature is going to roll initiative. Should not have disadvantage. And it rolls a 9. And this thing seems pretty spooky, as it starts to kind of enter into the fray.
Larger than the others?
It is way larger than the others. It is larger than the fire element.
What size class would you say?
I would say it was
fire. Huge?
I would say it was huge. In that case, that's going to bring us to the next in initiative, which would have been you, Michael. What do you wish to do?
Yeah.
There's one math goblin.
Well,
in front
this
of you,
complicates things. I could have
three.
easily made the goblins to surrender and just try to use an intimidation check, but now they just have this giant thing. I'm comfortable with that. So how far away am I from the geomancer and the giant?
You are pretty close. You're about halfway there, so you're about 30 feet away from the two of them. But there's 3 math goblins that are kind of near and around you that had swarmed on you and the fire elemental.
I'm gonna try to move up to. I'm gonna move up to the geomancer and the.
It's gonna provoke probably 2 opportunity attacks. Is that okay?
It's fine. I'll be fine.
All right.
Miss and ow! That's 4 force damage to me.
Could have been bad, but it was not. Only 4 points of force damage. As the square short sword, it hits you, and then you feel almost this. This wave of force off the end of the cube.
To attempt to trip attack the grab something, and I forget the save throw for the trip attack. Let me roll my attack first, and then I will add the. And
all right, go ahead and roll it up. Yes, it is.
Yeah, that is some scary escalation. Yeah, this. Oh, that's should not be a disadvantage. But what? Attack again. At the geomancer.
A 19 does hit.
Okay, so let me just check something. So, saving throw is 8 plus my proficiency bonus plus my strength modifier. So that would be. Let me just check. That's 11 plus 2. So that goblin has to make a... That math goblin has to make a 13 strength saving throw. DC 13. Or be knocked prone.
All right, so you...
Prone.
Go ahead and roll damage on that as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to roll damage, and then I'm going to roll... I'm going to roll a D8 in additional damage to that, so... plus...
11 points of slashing damage.
No, plus a D8.
Yep, so 14 points of slashing damage. All right. So you stab into this geomancer, and as you do so, he kind of... The sword just seems to, like, almost pass through him, and he calls out, you fool! I've mastered the transitive property! And you see one of the math goblins behind you all of a sudden slips over on the back, and then just explodes in a shower of blood, as you apparently slash a different math goblin than the one that you were attacking, that was actually, like, 40 feet away from you.
Wait, so that wasn't the real geomancer?
No, you hit him. It just seems like he did something and moved the attack onto something else.
Like a
but
goblin boss.
Yeah, one of those three...
So he took absolutely no damage at all. Okay.
And one of those three goblins that was charging... one of those three goblins that was charging at Sword and Jenny and Oldman just died.
Look at the geomancer like, wow, that is a complete waste. You should have took it like a man.
I disagree. And that is going to bring us to, I believe it was Sword next. Sword, what do you wish to do?
I am
Sword?
going to cast Spirit Guardians.
All right. Where do you wish to cast this spell? Oh, it's on yourself. Okay.
Yep. And then, in the meantime, I am going to move... how far away is the Geomancer?
The Geomancer is 60 feet from the main entrance.
Where we are.
Yes.
Okay, in that case, I will move... I'll move closer, about 15 feet towards the Geomancer, and then let my little Seraphs do their dirty work against the other goblins that are nearby.
All right. As you're kind of moving into space, what kind of saving throw they're going to make?
I believe it was Wisdom. Let me double check.
And what is the DC on that? Probably more than 13? All right, and on deck we have Oldman. Oldman, make sure you're ready to go. Do you know what the save DC is on that? Because I think it doesn't.
I didn't say on a wiki, but it's probably my DC.
Oh, well, it's definitely your DC.
It's 14.
Okay, 14. So yeah, they both fail. 23 points of radiant damage as you step into the space. Massive roll. Nicely done there. These goblins just incinerate in holy fire as your spirit guardians just annihilate them. That is going to bring us to Oldman. What do you want to do?
Well, I have a huge beast I need to draw, and I need to do it in relative safety, so I'll see you guys later.
All right, Oldman just vanishes, disappears as you turn invisible. Are you going to, like, move around the outside of the chamber? Or
I'm going to move to the side, approaching it to get a better view.
All right, you duck to the side now, invisible, where you can safely sketch.
I continue my sketch. My drawing is no longer a sketch. I have time now.
Oh yes, that's true. Jenny.
Is the fire element, is the goblin that punched my fire elemental still alive?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to shoot it with one beam of my Eldritch Blast.
All right. That's going to miss.
That
20? Will not. That one does hit. And it is agonized and incinerated as the Eldritch Blast pierces through.
Okay.
Anything else, or are you going to hang back where you are?
I might move a little bit further back, just so I can continue to see the whole cave, but, like, I don't want to be too
Alright.
close to these
Tucking into the cave a bit, then?
goblins. Yeah.
Alright, cool. In that case, that's going to bring us to your fire elemental. What are you going to have that do? There are 2 goblins in range of it. Or actually, now, no, there's still 2 goblins in range of it. There were 3.
Okay. Can my fire elemental move up to them? Are they
right.
within like
adjacent.
5 feet? of
Yeah,
each
they're already
other?
within 5 feet.
Okay, then he's just gonna stand on top of them and touch them
Scout.
at the same time.
All right.
One touch each. 11 for the first one, and 7 for the second one.
Those
It's
are
not
both
one
going
that
to
misses completely.
Yeah, those are both going to miss. But go ahead and roll the fire damage just for the AOE.
The first time it enters a creature's space on its turn. All right.
Both of those
7 to
goblins
1,
are
10 to the
incinerated.
other.
Yeah, both of those goblins are incinerated as the fire elemental jumps into that space.
Okay.
And I think that's all for your turn.
Can he keep moving towards the last one that
Oh,
was
yeah.
heading towards us?
They are.
You said
You move
there were-
if you move towards the
No,
geomancer,
they are now. They
you're
are
gonna
all
hurt
down.
me as well.
You killed one. The geomancer killed one essentially, and 2 of them were killed. Yeah, they're all dead.
Okay, yeah, cool. Then there's just the geomancer and the missing link.
Atrocity.
quote-unquote?
And the missing link. Yep.
Okay, then I'll have the fire elemental move back towards those guys.
All right. You do so. You continue. The fire elemental moves up. It's able to move kind of like right up, kind of in range here, very close to them at least. And the missing link is going to kind of look down at the fire elemental, and because he got skipped, so he's just gonna go now. I'll just say he's after you in initiative, or he'll go with the geomancer essentially, and he's going to take his huge club that he's wielding and slam it down, and he just kind of calls out, "Smash plus smash equals slam," and he's going to make a couple of attacks against one against you and one against the fire elemental. Does 17 hit you, Michael? Michael?
Chainmail.
17
and
does
a
not hit
shield.
me. It barely
No.
misses, actually.
A 17 misses?
A 17 misses. My AC is 18.
Okay, cool. And then I'm gonna miss the fire elemental as well with the 9. And the third one should not have happened. So, and then
Oldman is going to write that quote in the margins.
Excellent. And then the geomancer is going to look towards you, Sword, and is going to make 2 attacks against you with his Math Blast. There's a 22 and a 24 hit, I assume.
Was that?
You take no damage, Sword. As the Math Blast hits you, you see these 2 strange beams of energy, and just goes, "Transitive property!" And Jenny, you take 21 points of force damage.
Okay, I need to make 2 Constitution saving throws. First one passed. Second one failed. The fire elemental disappears.
Oh, I didn't know it worked like that. That actually,
Yeah.
I actually assumed it was just there forever. That wasn't the reason for that tactic.
I
But
take
all right,
22.
you take a total of 22. Yep.
Actually, I'm gonna change that. Could I have used my reaction?
For
Let me just double check if this works.
Well, just tell me like what thing you're gonna do because it might not apply relevant to the ability. Like if you're thinking shield
only gives you immunity to magic missile, not all force damage.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, never mind. I lose concentration on the fire elemental, and I take 22.
Spooky. The fire elemental dissipates, and that is all for the geomancer's turn. Actually, no, the geomancer is also going to step away and kind of move away from the big giant monster that he's kind of controlling. As it passes back to the top of the initiative, which is you, Michael. What do you want to do?
Can I try? Okay. Oh, I have a creative idea because he's speaking in addition. He said smash plus mash equals slam. Can I make a persuasion check and tell him kindness equals peace?
What are you saying?
Persuasion plus kindness equals peace?
Go ahead and make me a persuasion check. He just kind of looks down at you, and he kind of smiles, and he just goes, math. You have no idea what this interaction has meant to this creature.
Sword plus your leg equals bleeding, and then I'm going to attack him.
All right, go for it.
That's probably not going to hit, and attack again. That's probably not going to hit.
That is going to hit. The 13 does hit. The 11 does not.
It's
Yep, 13 hits.
enough. I will just roll damage. 8.
All right. He takes 8 points of slashing damage as he cut into the leg. He just does bad math. Is that all for your turn?
All for my turn.
Sword, what do you wish to do?
I'll go ahead and cast that bless.
All right. Who are you going to bless?
Everybody.
Oh no, sword! It's the thing. It has not happened. Everyone except McWizardface. That makes sense. All right. All right.
This doesn't seem to work through the spell books or the page, so.
All right, yeah. So all of them are now, you and everyone else is now magically blessed, gaining additional strength on your attack and saving throws. And the spirit guardians, as you do so, dissipate as you're now concentrating on a different spell. Anything else on your turn?
It took my action, so no.
All right. Are you going to stay where you are, kind of in the middle of this cave, keeping a bit of a distance?
I'll move off to the side, but move closer, just where I'm not in the direct line of fire.
All right, yeah. You kind of duck a little bit to the side. You're kind of edging towards the side where Oldman secretly hides as it passes now to Oldman's secret turn.
However long this drawing is going to take, it needs to be good.
All right. Oldman, are you just going to continue drawing?
However long it's gonna take.
Go ahead and make me a painter's supplies check, or whatever your drawing skill is.
I've just been using nature. Oh god,
that works. Yeah, it's coming along. It's slow progress, Oldman, as you're just drawing this creature. In that case, that's all for Oldman's turn. The head, it's just like the head is such a strange shape, and it's just an anatomy that you've never really had to do before. Just that really weird pointy chin that kind of juts and curves. That's going to bring us to Switch. And by Switch, of course, I do mean the Protector Galanodel. What do you wish to do?
Lay on hands.
You lie. As you false life yourself and drink a quick healing potion, emboldening and strengthening yourself. Is that all for your turn?
Action and bonus action. Yep.
All right. And you're going to stay in the cave. In that case, that's going to bring us to top of the initiative, which is going to be the missing link is going to go after you. Michael. Oh.
God. Oh, God. Those both
hits
hit
you
me.
for 27 and then another 18 on top of that. So a grand total of... no, this is a math-related episode, and I'm doing so bad right now. A grand total of 45.
I got it. So 27 plus,
plus 18 is 45. Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay. 40.
Are you still standing?
Yes, I am, actually. Surprisingly.
All right. It just kind of
I
looks down at you.
I have
just,
11 health left, by the way.
Pretty good. He just looks down at you and just... smash! Minus you! And hits again. And the geomancer kind of looks at him, and you see him kind of put the fingers together like a villain, and just multiply! And throws the hands out towards the missing link, which grows even larger in size. And that's going to be all for the geomancer's turn as it passes to...
Is that like a spell that he's using to make him grow larger?
He's using some kind of spell.
Enlarge.
Multiply is the name of this spell. It's a different thing, actually. And that is going to bring us to the top of the initiative, which is you, Michael. What do you want to do?
Well, I'm going to just gulp at how big it is now. And I'm going to use my bonus action a second to wind myself. I forget how much it is. Again, I keep forgetting how much my second wind is.
1d10 plus 5 for you.
5. Okay, let me roll that real quick. 1d10 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rolled poorly. I only get 6 health back, so I'm at 17. I'm gonna try a more clever addition problem for the hybrid monstrosity.
Right.
I'm gonna persuade him.
Doesn't seem. I'll say this: you're getting the impression that persuasion is probably not going to work on this guy. You could, if you want to really try and persuade him, it would be your whole action. But if you just want to quip at him, that's probably not going to do it. Especially
and if I move away from him,
he's
just going to kill me. If I move away from him, he's just going to absolutely destroy me. So
you can disengage if you want.
I'm going to use my action to disengage and just quiet. I'm just going to move away go away slowly equals not going to hit you. And I'm just
so you duck. You
duck
backwards.
Walk, and I'm just going to use my whole move action to just move away.
All right. In that case, that is going to bring us to sword. What do you want to do?
I will cast spiritual weapon and send it after the... Well, actually, I probably can't reach the geomancer.
You can get either of them with it at this point, if you wish to.
Okay. Then I'll use a spiritual weapon on the geomancer and...
All right, go ahead and make an attack.
And I will attack with my light crossbow against the geomancer.
All right. That will hit. For 7 points of force damage, and the light crossbow. Roll damage on that. Another 4, so 11 points of damage. And as it kind of hits into him, the spiritual weapon appears over his head, and the light crossbow bolt flies at him. And like you saw before, they just seem to phase through him. And he just goes, transitive property! And the light crossbow bolt just appears in the chest of the big giant creature. And the spiritual weapon just seems to cut a big swath of force damage around that creature's neck as he transfers that damage to the big monster thing. Is there anything else on your turn?
That will be all.
All right. Oldman, what's the play? Your
Well,
friends are starting to look like they're in pretty dire straits.
I suppose I'd better take out this geomancer so I can finish my drawing. From invisibility. Oh god.
Oh god. Oh dear.
Done. Fog's fire.
I believe that was syntax error.
Were there multiple? Are there actually multiple of these?
Searing blast.
I think the second and third hit. Nice for 18 points of fire damage, which it hits him and it kind of
18?
burns his robe. Yes. It hits him and kind of burns his robes for a second.
Is
and
that
then you
the
see
full
the
26 I came from invisibility?
Oh, yes, you have advantage. My apologies. So 26 points of damage as the robes kind of burn up. You watch as that damage is once more all of a sudden transferred as the giant just goes, and is just kind of thrashing about in pain. As the geomancer's looking nervous as that giant's starting to look beaten up and his lifeline will be gone. Is there anything else on your turn, Oldman?
Well, I'm gonna back up, that's for sure.
All right. Yeah, you stay where you are, kind of edging along the wall. That is, in that case, going to be Jenny.
Bonus action Hexblade's Curse on the Geomancer.
All right.
Pew pew.
20 hits, a 12 does not.
Bless.
Yeah, roll it.
Is its AC lower than 14?
Yeah, give it a shot. Yeah, so that actually does hit with the bless. Nice.
Okay, so it takes the agonizing blast damage, and it takes 2 procs of Hexblade's Curse, which is 4 plus 22. 26 damage.
26 total damage. These 2 Eldritch Blasts strike into the creature, and he continues to transfer them, but he's growing more and more nervous with each passing blast as the giant takes all of this burden of damage that the creature should. It's looking pretty beaten up as it passes to that creature's turn, and it is larger than it ever was before. As it kind of stalks over towards you, sword, and goes and swings down with its club. That is a 16 hit.
No.
26, I assume, hits.
Yes.
For 28 points of bludgeoning damage as it smacks into you with the club and just goes subtract. Go ahead and make me a concentration check on that bless.
Concentration or constitution?
That's a constitution, so that's it will be the same as your constitution. So 12 is actually not enough in this instance because it's 14 because the damage is half of the total damage, so the bless fades. And then the Geomancer is going to make 2 attacks against you as well, sword. For does a 23 and an 18 hit you?
23 yes, 18 no.
Okay. For that 11 points of force damage, which flies off and hits you, Michael, for 11 points of force damage. You take none of that damage, sword. As it passes to your turn.
Michael,
You took 11.
11.
As it passes to your turn.
I'm on my last legs here. I'm at like 6 health now. Come on.
Well, what do you do?
Can I? Okay, I have a weird idea. Is it possible for me to go around the beast and grapple the Geomancer?
Yeah. You could like run. You wouldn't be able to do both, but you could get up right next to the Geomancer if you wanted to, and be ready to do that next turn. If you provoke an opportunity attack, you could do both.
Provoke an opportunity attack. If I provoke an opportunity attack, I might as well just have a death wish.
Well,
What's the play going to be?
I'm gonna move. Oh, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Actually, this is.
I gotta make a call.
Move farther away, and that's
Okay, you're gonna disengage.
move farther back and tell the others that I seriously need some help.
Okay, you step backwards. In that case, that's gonna bring us to sword.
I will let my spiritual guardians. I mean, my not my spirit guardians.
Spirit weapon.
Spiritual weapon on the golem.
Unfortunately, that misses.
And then I will cast Mass Healing Word.
That is also a bonus action. Unfortunately, you can't do multiple bonus
Oh, is it?
Mass Healing Word?
Yeah,
is
I know
a
that's a-
bonus action.
Mass Healing Word is a bonus action, I believe.
Healing Word is
Fair-
a bonus action.
And I believe Mass Healing Word also is. I'm
Oh,
fairly
okay. I
certain
thought
about
Spiritual Weapon was independent after you first cast it.
that. No, I believe they both fall on the bonus action. I will make sure about Mass Healing Word, but
It is a bonus action, you were right.
okay, cool. So yeah, you would be able to do both of those in the same round. If you know what, for the sake of this round, I will say that you can. In the future, just know that you can't do it. So you kind of call upon this healing surge as all of your allies are embolstered with 6 points of healing. And I think that's all for your turn, unless you want to move.
Yeah, that'll be it.
All right. In that case, Oldman, what do you do?
I need to draw this thing. Oh, god dang it. But for that, I need it alive. Sleep.
Who are you casting sleep on?
I'm trying to catch both the Neanderthal and the
You can
wizard.
only get one in the current setup.
Ooh, well, then I suppose the Neanderthal.
Which slumps over and falls asleep. As you do so.
Then I continue to draw it, being in its face.
Okay. You're saying you're getting right up next to it?
Try and
Are
finish this
wait.
drawing.
Wait, are both of them asleep or?
Only the
No,
Neanderthal.
just the big thing. Jenny, what do you want to do?
Bonus action cast Hex,
All right, you bonus action Hex.
and let's see all this damage. Oh no.
11 misses, 20 hits.
Alright, 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 1d6. 12 total.
12 total. All right. It transfers the damage once more onto the creature, which instantly wakes up as it does so. You're just as it was kind of fallen over, sleeping, and it just stands. And
Can I show him the drawing of himself?
yeah, you hold it up to. Go ahead and make a
before
persuasion
Oldman
check.
gets completely crushed in one hit.
Make a nature check on the quality of your drawing really quick, and this will decide who he attacks.
Oh, fuck.
It's you. As the creature slams down, ugly, and that was actually the wrong one. That whatever that was doesn't count. I haven't seen it yet. And then those are the two. So 11 and 19.
Well, the 11 misses, the 19 does hit.
For 16 points of bludgeoning damage, and the Geomancer is going to look at and fire at you, Oldman, with his math blast.
Whoop, good hit.
20 and 24, and actually just going to deal that damage to you. You take 19 points of force damage.
Yep.
You still up?
Nope.
All right, yeah, Oldman goes down. That brings us to the top of the round, which is going to be Michael. What do you do?
I'm gonna dash all the way back to where I was previously, and then I'm going to action search to go all the way to the math goblin and grapple him.
All right, you do that. Go ahead and make a grapple. Contested by 5. You got you grab onto him and pull him in, and he looks at you, and this does not seem to be something you can transfer. As you kind of like pull his face right up close to yours. He's
Yeah,
like,
transfer
coming off
this.
the ground a little bit because he's small.
Can I use an intimidation check and force him to surrender? Because I don't think he'll be able to transfer anything I do to him at this point.
Yeah, go ahead and make an intimidation check.
And let me just check here. Intimidation, where is it? Here it is.
What do you say to this? What do you say to this math goblin?
I will tell him to surrender now, or my next attack on you will definitely not transfer.
And he kind of looks at you, and he just kind of drops the staff to the side and looks up at you. Just can't speak for my friend, but I'm good. And he drops the staff as he was looking, like I said, progressively more and more nervous about the way this fight was going from the beginning. And it seems that he's ready to actually throw in the towel as he seems to let go. The big monster is still pretty angry and scared, angry looking. As it moves now to Sword, what do you want to do?
I just note I will continue to hold on to him just to make sure he doesn't do anything.
All right.
It's a note.
Well, I've got a kooky idea. I pulled out that doll from what we collected earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The monstrosity.
You hold it up to him?
Yeah, just see
go ahead and make me a
if it'll
persuasion check.
trigger a reaction from it.
Go ahead and make me a persuasion check with advantage. You see him kind of, and he's getting ready to like take the two-handed club over his head and slam down on you. And as you kind of like hold up the doll and just kind of pray for the worst, he kind of looks down at it, and he drops the big club. You see it falls to the ground with a thunk as he reaches out to kind of like take it from you. As he gives it to him, it seems to like really calm this thing down.
Wait, what did he give to him? The doll?
Yeah, he gives him the doll, and he kind of looks at you just like, good math, and takes it and is just kind of like holding and looking at this doll, which is tiny in his hands, and he seems to like super relax now, and the geomancer throws down the staff.
About the sizing up spell, is that temporary or is that permanent?
Which eventually ends. I was going to say
Does Sword still have his bonus action?
I will say that given time, you guys have found a resolution to this particular conflict now, and you are raised without too much issue, Oldman. As you have all defeated these math goblins in a bit of an unorthodox way, as could be the tagline of Pete and Jeremy's DnDTime, and you have all completely kind of cleared out and checked out this cave. You eventually go back. The geomancer, you kind of work out amongst yourselves what to do with, but the dwarf Penelope kind of sees you. This big creature is still just kind of down there in the cave. And it can't really like, it's not like really fitting out the exit. You think this might have been larger originally, but Penelope speaks to you. You've all done a very good job in getting all of this done for me, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And she hands each of you your fabled reward of 200 Bartholomew bucks, and you each gain 1 experience point. And the rest will be left to history as we are.
I'll give Mira for the big thing. She has a way with these creatures.
Yeah, congratulations. You have completed this adventure.